Alrighty, welcome to Food Meets Faith, Session 7. Wow. One more to go after this. So, and we'll talk about that too at the end of the session, because I was reading ahead, and I actually have to be gone next week. So I can do either, I'll give you guys time to think about it, can either do it just on video and have Daryl post it, but it's actually very little information, and we're supposed to have a potluck with our food. So, which sounds like lots of fun. So we can either consider skipping a week and doing it the next week and doing like a potluck afterwards.
That's good because
I
we
like
won't be here
that.
next week either.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay,
So we can
yeah,
get together.
because, and just the different types of, she's got a great potluck recipe, and I've tried a couple of them that are super good, so I thought that would be good too, and we can kind of discuss that a little bit, so. But back to session 7. Would anyone like to start us out with prayer today?
I will.
Okay, perfect.
Father God, we are so blessed that you love us so much, that you care about the smallest details in our life. And we just give you great praise, Lord, and for all you've done for us, Lord, and especially for your Son, all of his sacrifice for us. Pray that you would open our hearts and our minds to hear you this morning. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. So we are on day 6, which is page 20. And our Bible verse for the day is James 5:16. And I always like to just open up my Bible to look at this, because I like to make little notes and remember things from last time where I've gone through things. And she actually has the second half of this. So I'm going to start with the James 5:16. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. So I feel like we can't be powerful and effective without first confessing our sins to each other and pray for each other. We all know that praying alone is super important, but praying together really pleases God. And so on day 6, we're going to learn how to not only use our prayer time with God, but also to have that prayer warrior with you that can help you to accomplish your goals. And I've seen this time and time again. A lot of people will let themselves down, but they won't let a close friend down. My running partner and I, there were times when I didn't feel like I could go, but I wasn't going to let her down. And so that really does make a big difference. And so right now we're going to talk about how important that is. So, and you can have more than one, definitely. I know that I have more than one person that I go to on a regular basis. But for this program, she wants you to choose a prayer warrior who will pray with you every day while you follow the program. Now, I've prayed for people as a whole and a few individually, but you know, she feels it's very important every day to talk with somebody about that. Obviously, if you have a spouse that's going with you through this journey, that makes it easy. But if not, there are plenty of people who don't, and maybe, you know, we can hook up some teams here. But she says, yes, I said every day. With wonderful technology, we've got this available to us, you know, unlike 20 years ago. You don't have to be in the same room with your prayer warrior to pray. She prays with her sister on FaceTime, her best friend on Skype, and with many friends over the phone. And every day that can be a huge commitment, but we have to be fully committed to this in order to make lifetime changes. and not just a temporary change. So we can't just rush through the book and at session 8 be done with this. You know, my goal is that we will take the things that we've learned and continue them throughout the years, throughout the rest of our lifetime. There's so many ways you can get ahead, you know, and you know, you're a perfect example, Judy. You just said, you know, you made right choices. Would you have made those choices 6 months ago, you know? So you went to the birthday party, you had fun, you know, ate some pizza, and you got right back on track. That's my goal for people, okay? You can say what you want about being perfect in this book and following this book, but it only sets you up to fail. So to me, that's not a negative, that's a positive. That is a major win for what you did. And some people go, oh, I've eaten that piece of pizza, I'm in trouble. And so just eat 4 more pieces of pizza and then the dessert. You know, I mean, how many times have you done that? I've done that. And so making that choice be ahead of time, make the choice to do that. And, you know, then be good at other times. So I think that's perfect. Individual experiences are super, super important for all of us to be able to come together and help each other succeed.
Speaking of that, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So I just feel like this class has been helpful to me too. And so I don't know if you've thought about, like, after the class is over, like having an opportunity just once in a while just to catch up.
Touch base.
Yeah.
I'm fully happy to do that.
Okay.
I'm very happy to do
Try
that.
to figure that
Just
out.
kind of, yeah, because we've all done like our own little, and I'm throwing everyone a bone today on some good stuff. So that just kind of, you know, I still have a sweet tooth, but the things that I'm eating are just so enjoyable. And so I made some little recipes. I did not get Jeff's brownie recipe, so I have to do that later on. But I will get that for you. But it just really helps to kind of, you know, touch base. And there's so much stuff out there that is within the confines of this that you can tweak recipes and still get the satisfaction. So I'm fine with that. I come to Bible study anyway, so if we want to just, you know, in between each, you know, something, or, you know, I'm fine with it. It doesn't take, you know, too much time on my part as long as I know ahead of time. So we can just come back and go through and retouch base.
I think that would be good because so many people are at different levels,
Right.
spots within their journey.
Yes,
so.
definitely. Yep. Great suggestion, we'll do it. So, we've talked about having the prayer warrior. Then we're gonna go back a little bit to what we talked about last time, which are our organics and our supplements if we need them. So organics are getting more and more prevalent at the different stores. I know many of the stores you can find them. Aldi is a great one for the organics. And then we also discussed having a garden or having a friend that has a garden. You know, we go to our stuff that we have canned and frozen quite a bit in this journey. And I don't know if anyone else has started to look at the colors of what they're eating. It's so enjoyable to just see all those different colors that that's where our vegetables are very, very helpful. So, and then we also have the wash that we can do if we don't have organics. And we know that the two that are very bad are the blueberries and what was the other one?
Strawberries, wasn't it?
Strawberries are in the dirty dozen, but peppers, that's what it was, peppers.
That's surprising.
Was it, and that one, because it's such a shiny film, it was hot peppers, like a hot pepper type thing. So I don't know the exact pathophysiology of that, but those were the ones that she says really should be organic. Don't forget about local farmers markets. I know there's quite a few of them around. Coldwater has them. I don't know if Union City does, but Athens has one on Fridays during the summer.
Sometimes.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, I thought down at the,
Yeah.
the river park, the park there by the
In front.
gazebo.
Yeah, by the gazebo.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so those are all, places that we can get those during the right times of year. And, Horrocks will soon be at the mall. I don't know about you guys, but I'm
so excited.
super excited about it. That place is daunting to get that extra 10 minutes, and you can't get everything you need. And somebody told me they had been walking around there, and they said they've got it, just immaculate in there, and they have like old trucks where they have
Yes.
the vegetables in the trucks and that kind of stuff. And I just think, sometimes it's just getting your cart through there and everything, so I'm super excited about that, and they're saying March is when that's gonna be open, so, that makes it much easier for us.
I think it's
But-
gonna be set up a lot like the one in Lansing is.
Yes, yeah, but I think it'll even be nice too, because the one in Lansing, I don't shop there enough, so I get confused, because it's a lot of different rooms, where this will be kind of all wide open, so, we'll see. But I'm super excited about that, because I think, the prices are always right there. I feel like the vegetables last a little bit longer too, so
And the variety is.
the variety is nice, yep. And my palate has definitely, changed quite a bit, so. Supplements, we'll go over that real quick. She talked about the omega-3s are her favorite supplement. Also, she has the greens, delicious greens powder drink, and she said that's got the multiple vitamin, the digestive enzyme B12, which gives us energy, probiotic, which helps us to digest, and all the superfoods in one. So especially if you're not one that is great with veggies, that would be one that would be good. So I still have not gotten my supplement on the collagen for the hair and the nails, so I hopefully will have that soon to kind of tell you guys about that. So that's our recap from last week. So how has prayer been a part of your journey on this program so far? Have I hit home enough the importance of looking to our number one first and not trying to deal with it ourselves? I find myself and it's really even just carried on. There's so much stress in medicine right now, and I just feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm feeling better or because I'm putting the faith where I need to put the faith, which is not in myself, it's in my God. And I have little reminders right on my desk, and as soon as something happens, I look there first. And, God, I need you. So I say that quite a bit. And I don't know, I'm putting that towards this program, whether it's the learning to go to the Lord, or whether it is that I'm feeling better. But who cares? It's, it's happening. So I'm hoping that we all can attest to that. On the verse of scripture, have faith in God, Jesus answered. Truly I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And a lot of times we don't believe. And if God can do the things that he has done, provide the people with the manna every day, help people to walk on water, all of these things, I think he can help us get straight with our eating and our health. So that really makes me want to, add to my prayer life. And then now we're going to go to our alcohol. As I said last week, I never thought that I would be one teaching a session on alcohol. So I could not be more ill prepared. So if I say something stupid, just work with me. So I feel like you have to have a little bit of experience in order to do this. And I do. I have lots of negative experience in my upbringing, but I don't have any experience in my own use of alcohol. But I, naively thought, what would be the first thing that would be the worst alcohol in regard to sugar? And I thought right off the bat, red wine, because of the juice, the grapes and that sort of thing. But I was wrong right off the get-go. But, Isabel, I think she really tries to make it work for everyone in different situations. But her bottom line is, you can have alcohol, but if it's a regular part of your day or even your week, it's very difficult to have weight loss and healthiness in with that. And I see it a ton, and I'm sure Sandra sees lots of negative stuff. People make alcohol part of their everyday and have a 6-pack of beer every night. And they wonder why they're depressed and they're overweight and, their health isn't working, that sort of thing. So I think this just kind of helps to settle us a little bit. The first issue is that sugar and excess calorie content is the sugar and excess calorie content in many drinks. A standard mixed alcoholic drink can contain up to 30 grams of sugar and 250 calories. That's the equivalent of consuming almost 8 teaspoons of sugar in one sitting. Now, a lot of it is we don't know what it is we're doing to ourselves. I can pretty much guarantee if I said to somebody, would you ever eat 8 tablespoons of sugar? People would say absolutely not. But how many times have we gone to the bar and had 2 drinks? That happens a lot, and we do it, and we don't even, think about it. When I say we, I don't mean me. But I've seen it a lot. I've seen it in people. And then, she says, here's another problem with drinking. Most people eat more when they drink. They relax, and then what's at the bars? Not Isabel's food,
Right.
It's the fried foods and that sort of thing. So then we get a little bit more relaxed. We have our 8 tablespoons of sugar, maybe times 3, and then we're just eating things, and then that has completely derailed us. So again, I go back to making that choice before you go. If you're gonna go somewhere and have a social drink, maybe make a better choice about what drink you're having and limit yourself.
They say people who drink coffee eat more desserts too. You sit down and have coffee and you have
Yes.
a piece of pie.
Yeah, because it's a social thing.
Yeah.
It is a social thing, so that can be difficult. Alcohol often makes you crave the foods that you should avoid, which is processed carbohydrates and sugar. It also may cause you to eat unhealthy foods the day after if you're feeling groggy, dehydrated, and hungover. Then you have to add in, other things just to try to help you get through the day. So another problem with consuming alcohol is how the body processes it, which, that's a very important part from my standpoint of what sort of things it does to you. Alcohol is considered a carb, but your body treats it differently from many other carbohydrates. because it's got fermented wheat, barley, grapes, or some other carbohydrate. You even make some alcohol out of potatoes, which I didn't know.
That's vodka.
Is
Vodka's
that-
made from potatoes.
Okay, there you go. And alcohol contains 7 calories per gram compared with 4 calories per gram in most carbohydrates. So it's even worse than, and I don't know about you, but if I'm gonna do something bad, I'm gonna eat it, I'm not gonna drink it. The human body treats alcohol as a toxin, which we know that. The liver processes alcohol calories before all others in an attempt to clean those toxins from the bloodstream. So what's happening to those other things that our body is letting sit there so it can get rid of the toxins? Well, it's going into calories stored into the fat cells, and that's, you know, not a good idea with what we've got planned for our bodies. So the bottom line is, alcohol is not your friend when weight loss is your goal. It's just the hard truth of what she says, and it's why she recommends that you do 30 days of no alcohol to start out with. And then once you've completed the first 30 days, you can continue to follow the program and enjoy 1 to 2 drinks per week. But remember, the less you drink, the easier it will be for you to get rid of those excess pounds. So what are the best choices if you're gonna drink? The following alcoholic beverages are all gluten-free. Gluten is hiding in more drinks than we realize. So if you're ever going to indulge in some drinks during the week, at least you will not be ingesting that extra gluten. So on to wine. Wine, particularly red wine, seems to be the drink of choice for most dieters. And I thought, in my simple brain, that a white wine would be better and less sugar, but I guess I'm wrong. And the other thing that, you know, there's talk about this resveratrol, which is an antioxidant. They've only checked it in mice. It's not something that the FDA checks for humans. But basically, her philosophy is, if you have that resveratrol, you're going to have to drink so much alcohol to get it as an antioxidant that you're going to have far more negative benefits than the positive benefits. So just be mindful of that. Wine, compared to other alcoholic beverages, does have a smaller amount of sugar. Dry wine has almost no sugar, so in that respect, it's a better choice if you're going to drink at all. The exception is the sweet dessert wines. Sometimes you'll see those, and you know, there we go back to the many tablespoons of sugar. So, and they always pair it with a dessert, so you know, you're getting double whammy. Rum and vodka. Most rum is naturally gluten-free. So most rum does not contain sugar, but if you get the flavored ones, that's where you kind of get the different sugar substitutes in it. Vodka also contains minimal, and yes, Kelly, I'm talking about alcohol. So
I'm doubly sorry.
yeah, well, I know, because you probably missed some laughs. But you'll get caught up real quick.
Yes, yes.
Vodka also contains minimal amounts of sugar, except in the flavored varieties. So always try to choose the plain unflavored vodka. And then best choice would be vodka made from potatoes. The following vodkas are all gluten-free and made from potatoes: Chopin, Grand Teton, Chase, and High Roller. High Roller is made from sweet potatoes. Often the problem with rum and vodka is not the actual liqueur itself, but what do we do with it?
Mix it with something.
We mix it with a Coke or something like that, and then that gets us to our sugar. So, and juices are a big no-no, because juices have so many grams of sugar in it. So skip the fruity drinks and opt instead for a vodka martini or a simple drink of rum and vodka mixed with seltzer. Then we go on to beer. It is the third most popular drink with the exception of water and tea. Now, I am a tea expert. So if we ever wanna talk about that, I could add lots to that. But alcohol is consumed so much, and that's where I see it a lot in everyday basis, with people that, you know, run to the store every single night. 12 ounces of beer has about the same amount of alcohol as 5 ounces of wine. So people use this as their rationalization, just one beer, but most often we don't stop at the one, especially if it's a social thing. So the biggest issue is that beer is made with all sorts of ingredients that are not listed on the label. So again, the FDA does not regulate our alcohol like they regulate our food. Does anyone know who regulates? I didn't know this answer either. Who regulates the alcohol? No.
Department of Treasury.
Firearms and,
Department of Treasury.
oh, treasury.
It says that regulates beer manufacturing, which is why we have no idea what's, you know, being put in it. So
That makes no sense.
it makes no sense to me.
When it came out of prohibition, because it was a financial means, that's when it moved to the treasury.
Huh.
So that means, just as in our over-the-counter supplements, there are, you know, oils, essential oils, all those sort of things. The FDA doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, the FDA can be good and can be bad, but there's no real testing on what's put in there. You know, just as when the local teenager goes to buy marijuana from somebody, you know, the FDA doesn't approve that either, and they are putting horse tranquilizer and everything they can do to get people addicted. So you do want to be mindful of those things. You don't know what they're putting in there. So you're not going to the local brewery and getting the list of ingredients. So, Kelly?
And that's why when Isabel you talked about supplements,
Mhm.
that's why when she suggested the brand that she suggested, I knew that she had done
The research on those. Yes,
and the
yes,
work.
I
So the
skipped
ones
that.
that
Yep.
she suggests
Mhm.
are,
Absolutely. Yep. So, so it's made of all sorts of ingredients that are not listed on the label. Law does not require beer manufacturers to list or disclose the ingredients. Typical ingredients that can be added to your beer are GMO corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, fish bladder, MSG, propylene glycol, and BPA. So if you still want to enjoy a cold brew, the best bet would be to choose many of the organic and even gluten-free varieties that are available today. And I have seen those at places where they do have the gluten-free. So she's given several different options to choose from an occasional alcoholic beverage. She wants to emphasize the word occasional, as the beverage mentioned above are not meant to become a regular part of a healthy routine. Alcohol and fat loss don't mix. So, drink wisely if you're gonna drink, or, you know, a lot of people just being away from this, you know, I have to wonder in my simple brain after reading this, is it really the alcohol they're craving or the sugar that we've all noticed that we've craved? So, you know, and I mean, I'm not definitely downplaying the craving of alcoholic beverages, but definitely I think that sugar has a lot to do with it. So, okay, so that was a pretty short and succinct. Does anyone have anything to add about alcoholic beverages, such as ones that they've tried that are good? Seltzer water with...
when I had parties to go to, everybody is accustomed, everybody being our work groups.
Right.
And we have a ridiculous amount of work parties every
Yes.
holiday, and we still have one left. And
Oh my.
yeah, clearing it in February.
Okay.
I know, it's silly.
Hey, spread it out.
No kidding. So, you know, everyone is having a cocktail, and, you know, I was one of those that would have a cocktail as well on occasion at these parties. And this year, I just thought, you work so hard, don't blow it with a drink. So I had, you know, I also didn't want to talk to anybody about why I wasn't
Yes.
having a drink. That
Yeah.
bothered me. I didn't want to even engage with them. So I wanted them to feel like I was having a drink, hypocritical as that may seem. So I just asked for a seltzer water on ice and one of the
Yeah.
rock glasses, and then a cup, like a lime and a lemon, and, you know, on a little, you know, the little spears, little
Perfect.
swords.
Yeah.
And everybody, and then they'd say, hey, can I get you a drink? And I bite, no, I'm all set, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't trying to deceive anyone, but I also I wanted to talk about other things.
Right.
You know, this is
Yeah.
my personal journey, and I mean, I love having this group to share it with, but I just really didn't wanna go there with everybody else. But the point of sharing that is that there are ways around it if you feel that way.
Right.
If you're in a party situation, or you know that you're going to a party, and you feel some kind of something about it, there's a way to do that. But I like seltzer water anyway,
Right.
and actually have to stay away from it, cause I do like it.
Okay.
You know, I like the flavored ones,
Yeah.
but I stay away from the carbonation for the
Right.
most part.
And that's a great idea, because I know what it's like to, you know, have people try to say, oh, here, you haven't tried this, you got just at least one, you know, come on. And, you know, I've dealt with that for years and years and years, and sometimes I'm fine with just, you know, sometimes I blurt out, you know, I have horrible alcoholism in my family. And then they kind of go, ooh, okay, you know, but, you know, sometimes you just don't even feel like you want to.
That's right.
And I don't want people to think that I think I'm better than them,
Right.
or that but for me, it doesn't work.
Right.
And so that's a good tip to do. I mean, I have a pretty small circle. I mean, all my work family knows that I don't drink. All my, you know, close friends and family know that. So, I'm kind of immune to that, but I'm not in the profession that you're in, where, you know, a lot of people, it does make people feel uncomfortable at times. So
Right.
I have no problem with that, but I can imagine, you know, having to explain that to everyone.
And I'm not anti either.
Yeah, right.
You know, either.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
for this journey and purpose,
Yes.
you know, and I have horrible alcoholism in my family as well.
Right.
So,
And I said earlier, I would rather eat my calories than drink them.
Right.
So,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
The name
Me too.
Pastor Day keeps me out of those situations.
Does it? Maybe I should say Pastor Sara?
I need to go get the credentials.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. But, you know, there are better choices to do, and again, it's all about making that decision. Kelly's, you know, I always go back to that, what she said, make your decision before you go. And if you stick to it, and then if you feel yourself not wanting to stick to it, that's your, you know, quick text to your prayer partner, you know, say to your spouse, help me out here, you know. I don't wanna do more than what is necessary. So, and I knew that this would be a little bit short, so what I wanted to do, many of you aren't quite there yet, okay, but after the 4 weeks, and there are some towards the end, the muffins, I feel, I use those muffins a lot, and she gives us lots of different muffin recipes, and I made the blueberry banana ones, and Madeline came over, my great niece, and I was like, oh, she, you know, always starts and I'm hungry, and I'm like, oh, what do I have? Okay, I had a full bag of chips from October. And I said, well, I just made muffins. Or I didn't even say that. She said, well, what are those? And I said, well, those are muffins, but those are Aunt Sarah's muffins. And she says, well, I want one. And I thought, she's gonna take one bite and spit it out, because I don't realize everything tastes good to me now.
Same.
I don't realize she couldn't get enough of it. She mowed the whole thing down and loved it. Now, she's a kid that loves fruit, but, you know, I have a hankering for the almond flour. I love the almond flour.
My
So-
son-in-law did the same thing. They were over early for breakfast,
Uh-huh.
and it was breakfast time, same thing. I thought, oh dear,
Yeah.
just like, cause everything tastes good to me now,
Yeah.
but it tastes
Mhm.
terrible to everybody.
Yes, right.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to feed it to, except for Glenn, you know.
Yeah, right.
And even Gavin's like, Mom, you don't cook like you used to do. I'm like, praise God for that. You know, I'm happy about that, but same. And he wanted more, and he never wants anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was, same thing.
Yeah.
On those muffins.
Mhm.
Cause I made the blueberry, or I made the, banana ones, but then when I made the banana blueberry ones, that seemed to
Yes.
turn a corner.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yep.
really good.
yeah. And then I made, I think it was over Christmas, made the banana blueberry ones, and then I had leftover that I always talk about, the Kodiak protein muffins. And I made those because I assumed that everyone else would like those, you know, the kids. And my muffins were gone, and those muffins sat for days, and Jeff goes, yeah, I threw out your healthy muffins. I said, oh, no, you didn't. Those were eaten the first day. Those are the, you know, the ones that have 3 times, probably 10 times the sugar in them. So, you know, of course, I loved to point that out. So I made copies of, because I believe when you get the book, I'm not sure, do you get the potluck recipes with the book and the desserts with the book? It's not in the book. I know it's not in the book, but
And then
if it's when you sign into your account,
I'm signed into mine, let me see.
okay.
I don't remember.
Because this is, I did the chocolate almond butter fudge, and I did the chocolate chip cookies. And so I'm gonna give you the recipes on these.
So the church potluck and the heavenly desserts come on your online.
Okay, perfect, good. So you have access to these, but this is a quick way to do it, and I'm just gonna give you my little tips on it. The fudge, I keep right in the freezer, because you have to freeze it for 3 hours before, because it is very liquidy, but once you freeze it, and then we eat it frozen. So it's sitting there in the freezer, it's not in the on the counter where you're thinking about it, and same thing, I get out 2 pieces and then we're done. Same thing with the cookies. I thought, oh, I'm gonna try to freeze these and see how they go, you know, and I just did them in the balls, and I rolled them in the parchment paper and put them in a Ziploc freezer bag, and I take 2 out at a time. And I made them probably 3 weeks ago, and we just ate the last 2 last night, and they tasted perfect. Now, the thing that I've learned, and that Sara learned firsthand, was that you cannot cook these things too long. So I even put in here, Jeff's little tip is that if they look done, they've been in too long. So you want them to still look a little mushy, because once that almond flour, it can give you like a little bitter taste. So if something doesn't taste right, then you've probably not done that right. Okay, so I'm gonna give these to you guys. Just so you have it handy in time of need, and you know, it doesn't hurt. People don't realize a lot of this stuff, and you can bring stuff, and if people don't eat it all, then you can take it if you go to but the church potluck, I haven't made all of the things, but I made the mushrooms, and they went like hotcakes. I did not make enough of them, and everyone was like, oh, these are great, all the Stanton crew, you know, and I thought, ooh, if they knew what they were eating, you know, so that's good. Kelly, we had talked about, next week is our final week, and it's my girls' trip that got rescheduled, the Florida trip. So, we have, one of two options. The only real thing we do is go over our day 7. We don't have any more, learning to do about, the different supplements or alcohol or carbs, proteins, fats. And so it really is the last session where we just talk about day 7, and then then she recommends that we have a potluck. So, the option would be for me to just go over day 7 ahead of time, and everyone can do it, but we also thought it would be great to do a potluck, not next week, but the week after, and do a potluck and just have people bring different stuff of Isabel's to try it. And then, that can be our great last session. So,
Okay.
that would be, can anyone pull
The
their
12th.
12? Sandra, you're on my wavelength, girl.
Only because,
You're gone on that week?
well, we've got Emmett that weekend.
Oh, okay, all right. So the week of the 12th, and I'm assuming that we would do it after church and not before.
Right. I may be traveling that day, I may not be here, but I
Okay.
think that that's a fabulous idea,
Okay.
so, to actually have the potluck.
Okay,
We get to try a bunch of different things.
that's right. And a lot of times you try things that you wouldn't necessarily do, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm not gonna, waste a whole meal on this, and then you find out you like it, so. I wanna do the eggplant one, cause I'm pretty much a eggplant expert. I love that. There's an eggplant casserole, so I'm gonna write myself down for that one.
Nice.
So,
I
but
haven't
if
heard
people want to come and they can text me, then, and whoever doesn't have my phone number, I can give that to them and then just text me what they want to bring. And I don't think everyone has to bring stuff either, so.